I get hired to do the part, and I'm thinking, oh my God, what's going to happen? I hear these terrible stories for all these years about how the two of them didn't get along. Is this going to carry over when I walk on a set and meet Brynner? Is he going to think that I'm like Steve McQueen and not like me? I was doing a Cimarron City with George Montgomery. One of my very nice guest roles, probably, I guess this was 58, late 58. We hadn't moved to Universal yet, Review Studios. And I got a call from the assistant director, said that Patrick Kelly, the head of talent, would like to see you up in his office at lunchtime. And I thought, uh-oh, boy, I must have done something wrong. So I go to the principal. But anyway, I went up to see Mr. Kelly, walked in his office, and he said, we've been watching you. I've done several shows now at Old Review. A couple of Mickey Spillane's, Bob Hope Chrysler, several, nice guest star parts. My career was just starting to go up. And he said, we've been watching you, and we'd like you to do a TV series for us. And I said, my God, what is it? He said, it's called Markham, and it's starring Ray Milland, and there's a part for a young detective in it. And I said, detective? No. I said, I don't want to play a detective. I want to do a Western. I'd been doing several Westerns. And he says, did you hear what I just said to you? This studio is offering you a co-starring role with Ray Milland in a series called Markham. And I said, Mr. Kelly, I love it. I think that's, I'm amazed, but I can't do it. I don't want to do a detective series. And he said, you do realize we're offering you? And I said, yes, I do. He says, get out of here. I turned around and walked out, and I thought, that's the end of it. I'll never work again at this studio. Anyway, a couple days later, I get a phone call, police from my agent now, says, Mr. Kelly wants to see you again. So I walk up to Patrick Kelly's office, and he says, all right, star, read this script. And he throws a script across the table to me. It's a half hour called Laramie. He says, go out in the office and read it and see if you like it. So I go out in the office with his secretary out there, and I read this half-hour script of Laramie, 30 pages. The part of Jess Harper is the part of my dreams. There's never been a part of my life that I wanted more than how this guy was written, who I am, how I can play it. And I walked back in and I said, Mr. Kelly, this is the best Western series I've ever read. That's the best part I've ever seen in my life. And I want to do the part of Jess Harper. And he says, wow, you don't understand. We don't want you for the part of Jess Harper. John Smith is under contract to the studio, and he's been signed to do the part of Jess. We want you for Slim, the ranch owner with the kid. And I said, I can't do it. And he goes, what? I said, I'm sorry, Mr. Kelly. I can't play Slim. I'm Jess. I cannot play that part. And he says, do you understand what you're doing to me here at this studio? And I said, yes, sir, I do. Certainly. He said, you can't have that part. It's already signed and delivered to John Smith, who was in Cimarron City at that time. That was getting to end. I said, I'm sorry, I can't play Slim. And he says, get out of here. And I leave again. Now, when I get back home, I say, oh man, I'm never going to work at Review Studios again. That evening, my phone rings and my agent says, they would like you to come to the studio tomorrow to test for the part of Jess Harper. And I got the part. So that's how Laramie came about. We were talking about the Return of the Magnificent Seven, some of my experiences with Yul Brynner. Now, I don't know if a lot of people know that Yul Brynner and Steve McQueen did not get along at all. And this was the story in Hollywood for years.
We deal in lead, friend. So do I. We're in the same business, huh?
Only as competitors.
But you all have to understand that you're talking about two fabulous actors, that each one of them have a different style. Yul Brynner is a straight-on type actor. Act as if it's happening to you. Steve was more of a method actor. And if you watch The Magnificent Seven, you'll see Steve McQueen less his hat more than anything, messing around with his hat in the middle of a scene with Brynner. You don't want to upstage Yul Brynner. 2 years later, they're going to make the return of The Magnificent Seven. And my agent takes me in to meet Walter Mirisch, who produces, the Seven. And I go in, I meet Walter, and God, I love that part. I loved him. And I knew it was Vin. Of course, I'm going to reproduce Vin. I'm going to do the Steve McQueen part, which is a very difficult thing to do if you think about it. Another actor playing the same character in a sequel. Tough. But anyway, why not? I'm going to do it. And I haven't met Yul at all. Yul's in Spain or in Switzerland. He lives in Switzerland. And so I get hired to do the part, and I'm thinking, oh my God, what's going to happen? I hear these terrible stories for all these years about how the two of them didn't get along. Is this going to carry over when I walk on a set and meet Brynner? Is he going to think that I'm like Steve McQueen and not like me? Because, there really were stories about Brynner saying that he was a very tough man. Anyway, so I get on the set, I fly down there, go into Alicante, I get to Madrid, drive all the way to Alicante, get on the set the next morning, haven't met Yul, go in, I get my wardrobe, get my gun belt, my hat and everything, which I'm Robert Fuller playing Vin. And he says, have you met Mr. Brynner yet? And I said, no. And he said, well, let's go meet Mr. Brynner. So we walk across this plaza, and Yul's dressing room is sitting up there, and Yul is sitting there getting made up in the mirror. His back is to me. He's looking in the mirror, and he's getting made up, and the assistant and I are walking across this long plaza. As we get up, I can see Yul looking at me in the mirror. He's not turning around. He sees me in the mirror, and I see his eyes. And we walk up, and the assistant knocks on the door, and he says, Mr. Brynner, this is Robert Fuller playing the part of Vin. And Yul does not turn around. He's just looking at me in the mirror, if you could see this, and I'm looking at him. Dead silence for about 30 seconds. And I thought, this is not good. And Brynner says, do you drink? And I thought, do I drink? Don't I drink? Does he drink? Doesn't he drink? Yeah, I'm thinking, oh my God, what do I say? And I thought, this is all going through my mind like this. I thought, I'll be honest quickly. And I said, yeah, I drink. And he just keeps looking at me through the mirror. Nothing. Another 30 seconds. 30 seconds was 30 hours as far as I was concerned. It took forever. And I thought, oh man, I've just screwed up or something. And finally, Brynner says, do you play poker? And I cracked a smile. I said, yeah, I play poker. And he says, come in, Pally. And he reached around, he grabbed me by the hand and absolutely drugged me into the trailer on my back in his thing. I fell on the ground. Come in, Pally. And I lay down there. An hour and a half later, we killed a half a bottle of Johnny Walker Black before we went to work. And I had the best time of my life for 3 months with Yul Brynner in Madrid and Spain and everything, and became very, very close friends. And I loved him. He was a magnificent man. 1955, I'm out of the Army. I'm at home, and I'm watching The Range Rider.
The Range Rider, with his thrilling adventures of the great outdoors, his exciting experiences, rivaling those of Davy Crockett, Daniel Boone, Buffalo Bill, and other pioneers of this wonderful country of ours.
And I'm thinking, my God, this is one of the best Westerns I've seen on TV. I watched this magnificent man throw punches, throw fights like he does. And, I think, wow, God, this is incredible. Now I'm starting to study acting. Anyway, shortly after that, I do get Laramie. And I think it was about, I don't know, early 1959. My producer comes up to me and says, guess who the guest star is going to be on this show? And I said, who? And he says, Jock Mahoney. And I thought, oh my God, I can't believe it. My hero, two heroes I've had in my life, Jocko was one of them. Joel McRae is the other. I want to ride like Joel, and I want to fight like Jocko. So, first day on the set, we have a scene. I'm up there, and I've got a scene where 3 Indians are going to bulldog me off a cliff onto the ground, and I'm going to fight and kill 3 Indians in a big fight, which I've already, in those days, I did it all myself. Of course I did. Set it up, directed it, say, okay, and I hired the actors that were going to work with me, the stuntmen. And all of a sudden, just before we start to do the scene, Jock comes up from the lower lot and is going to watch the scene. And I thought, and I haven't met him yet. I haven't even said hello to him. But I know he's sitting there going to watch this whole scene that I'm going to do, where I ride up the trail, an Indian bulldogs me off the side of a mountain, takes me off my horse to the ground, and I fight the other 2, kill a couple and whatever. And it's all staged, which I did. And I'm going, God, I'm doing it in front of my idol, and I'm going to do it just like he would do it. All the big punches, all the hits, just like Jock Mahoney does. And I'm just thrilled. I thought, oh my God, my hero is going to watch me do this. And we do it, and it came out so great. It's all over with. They all leave and walk over, and the director says, Bob, have you met Mr. Mahoney? And I said, Jocko, what a pleasure. Nice to meet you. And Jocko says to me, he says, I've seen somebody fight like that before. And I went, yeah? And I loved it. So now we're talking a little bit, whatever. He doesn't expound any more than that. But now we're moving down to the bottom of the lot where I have to break a huge barn door down where he is inside about to kill a couple of people. He's the bad guy in the show. And I've got to ride my horse down, get off my horse, go up to this barn door, step back and kick it open and dive in and shoot him on the interior. We're going to do the exterior now. And this is a huge barn door. So we get down on the set, it's all set up, and Jocko's there. He hasn't worked yet, but he's standing, he's watching. He's up on a little platform looking at what I'm doing. And so my special effects man comes up to me and he says, Bob, he says, this is a huge, tough barn door. He says, would you like me to score it for you? And for people that don't know what score means, it means that you could take a tool, a knife or whatever, cut the locks and this, make them a lot easier to break open. I said, don't touch them. I'm going through that door. I don't care how tough it is. I'll show Jock Mahoney how I can break a door down. Don't and Frank Brundell. Frank Brundell is my special effects man who won the Oscar for Earthquake. And he's my special effects guy, and always was. He and I got along. He says, Bob, he says, no, it's a bad door. It's a big door. You can't knock it. I said, get away. I can knock that door. I'm going to kick that door open like you can't believe it. He says, all right, Bob. He's action. I ride the horse down and go up, Hear the voice inside, step back, and I go back and I kick that door. Bam! Shoots me back about 15 feet onto my back. I'm out of breath going, I can't breathe. I mean, I'm so screwed, you can't believe it. I look up and Jock is looking down at me going, that cracked me up.